Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the DisasterMinds Podcast. I'm Micah.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Will.
And we're ready to jump into another great episode for you guys here. So we did another little movie review type thing. We watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And it came out. A massacre.
It was. It was. I mean, from writing to acting to overall display, we saw just disaster. That's our word. A massacre of things. So this new Texas Chainsaw just came out this year in 2022 on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, honestly, go check it out. It was definitely worth the watch. So we're just gonna break down what we saw, what we witnessed in it, and I'm gonna let Will start us on this one.
Well, first off, guys, how would you rate the movie?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
And this is a varying scale. You make your scale. How would you rate it?
I would say it was 10 out of 10 a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Where I would rank it, where I would rate it, I would probably personally give it like a 4.5, 5. But I think that's where they average, actually.
So out of 4.5, 5 out of
50? I don't 10. Probably
10 stars? Okay.
Out of 10. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I would never consider it like my favorite movie of all time, but I enjoyed the hour and 14 minutes that it was.
Okay, yeah.
Is that how long it was?
It was an hour and 14 minutes. Yeah,
I did think it kind of ended quickly all of a sudden.
I thought it was going to be over like 30 minutes earlier than that. I was like, they wrapped this up pretty decently.
There were a lot of times it could have been over.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh. I would have to say, honestly, I have to probably verge on the side of Joel with this one, because it was very, apt to what a Texas Chainsaw movie always tend to be. So I was very thoroughly entertained. I was yelling, I was screaming.
Right. We were all yelling.
Yeah.
At least I know I was also.
And so I would say I would rank it. Honestly, I would give this one probably a 5 out of 10 stars.
Which is decent.
Which I think is really good. I consider
really
that
generous.
Like I said this earlier today, actually. But I could dog on a movie the entire time I watch it and be like, I enjoyed that. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, it definitely it carried itself pretty well. I want to repeat myself just for what I think I look in. My
expectations, it was like 11 out of 10. But really, it was probably like a 5.
Why would you ever expect 11?
I don't.
No. My expectations for the movie exceeded them because I had none.
Really?
Because I go into that movie thinking, well, this is going to be crap.
Yeah.
And it was.
Right.
But it was just above the crap that I thought it would be.
It was a nice firm one rather than just like a wet blob.
And kind of say something about the beginning of the movie. No,
wait, hold on. Before I do want you to hear this, but I want Will to answer his own question. What would you rate it?
On a scale of like a small garden trowel to a power washer, I would give it 1 chainsaw. Joel.
All right. I mean, I'll let anyone else decide what that rating is.
I'm sorry that I asked that question now, actually.
No.
All right, I'm sorry, Joel.
Well, I just want to say, at the risk of sounding like I'm 75 years old and have lived through a life where things were really tough, and now my children have it easy.
Okay, yeah. That was oddly specific.
No, it makes sense, though. When the movie started, and these kids are on their phone, and they're like, everyone's an influencer, and I know that's hilarious coming from us, right now on a podcast, but
be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. But they're going to buy this town where I don't even know what their plans are. I don't really think they ever went into good detail about what the plans for that town were. They were gonna leave it exactly how it was and make it into some sort of amusement park type thing,
a hipster paradise, essentially.
Right. Yeah. And they also evict an old family. But anyways, they're driving this really fancy car, and they're depending on what their age is or not, they look like they're no older than 17. Mm-hmm. And and so it's like what the hell are all these kids doing out here, going out to buy a city, a small town, and so the first 3 to 5 minutes, this little build up for what's about to happen, I'm like, you know what, I'm good with Leatherface winning this.
Yeah,
I'm okay with him winning this one. Now my feelings changed as the story went on, but that was my initial thought, and I understand that makes me sound like I'm extremely old and I'm sick of all of this, you on your Instagram, you stupid, that sort of stuff. But that was my initial thought.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that. So I will admit, I was very strongly opposed to the main character. Her name is Mel.
She was not the main character.
The second main character.
Second main character.
She had more screen time than the main character.
Oh, I think you're right.
Oh, Leatherface is the main character.
He's always...
I would... I don't even know what to say here. Mel. Okay, Mel's her name. So I was very strongly opposed to Mel. I didn't really... I didn't like her because she was... Okay, so very early in the movie, she, like 3 feet away from a guy, she just badmouthed him because he has a gun attached to his hip.
Right.
And she just has...
And they're in Texas, though.
And they're in Texas.
South Texas.
Yeah, in the middle of literally bumfuck nowhere.
Right.
And she is judging and critiquing a guy because he has a gun. She later says, "Oh, I'm sorry I got so heated for you," talking to her sister, who we later find out is a survivor of a school massacre, a shooting, which... I don't know. They could have done better to set that one up for us.
I don't know. I think they did an alright job with like shining relevancy on this Texas Chainsaw movie. Like, yeah, you've got your hipsters and your like the millennial influencers who are probably Gen Z, not even millennial. Like 17 and buying a small town.
Right.
Right.
Like, is that influencer money? I don't know. But I think the school shooting aspect of it, where we have this character who's got that backstory and kind of like a survivor's guilt from it.
Right. Well, no, what I'm saying about that is like we just see her sister just like go off on a guy for in our minds no apparent reason because we don't have
other than he's just there gassing out.
Yeah, exactly. He's an innocent guy who just showed up to a gas station.
Well, as far as we know to this point.
Yeah. Exactly. He just showed up to put gas in his truck, and then she just starts talking really bad shit about him like 3 feet away to where he hears her and he calls her out on it. And then they're in the car and her sister, Belle's sister, is scrolling through her Instagram feed, and the entire time, every like the 3-4 posts we see is like no guns, anti-gun, yada yada, and then she covers up
and the dude talking about how their vision is finally coming into fruition.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then
with them buying the small town.
Yeah, and then the sister
I just want to say, like, you're not supposed to feel safe in a school, but you would think you'd feel safe in a small town that you're buying in the middle of nowhere.
And then the sister like tries to hide a bullet wound that she had, like a scar from when she got shot, and so that's the only context we have. And later on in the movie, we find out she has a flashback that she was a part of a school shooting. So that's why I'm saying they didn't really set it up very well for explaining why we should be on Mel's side or why we should feel bad for any of those
really
people.
Why any of them would be likable, period.
Well, that's also
and
true.
That was just that it goes again with my like I sound like I'm really old and complaining about the world. But it's just like, why are you likable? I don't I don't really understand. Like you're not, you know, I don't know why you're the main character of this film. But anyways, so yeah.
Well, that being said, like Joel said himself, we grow to like the characters later on because they develop into humans, obviously. You know, we start to see their humanity. We start to see a little bit. We start to see, you know,
it gets into it decently quick. I mean,
I thought it jumps into what's
within like
going
7
on.
minutes, 7-10 minutes, someone's dead.
Yeah, right about that.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, or the old lady, you know, she dies.
Yeah.
So. I'm not counting that though.
I didn't expect that to happen.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but that was kind of the first couple of minutes of the movie. The setup was very, very fast, very quick, and you kind of had to be paying attention if you want to know what was going on in that regard. So yeah. Overall, I mean, it continued on. You know, of course, Leatherface, as he's called, gets pissed off by reasons I won't spoil yet, and then he just goes on a massacre, just killing these people for revenge, I guess we could say. You know?
Well, revenge for his mother, who the kids basically. Yeah. Anyways, the mother dies. His mother dies, and he's upset about it. I mean, I feel like that's semi-justifiable that you'd be upset, but the way he enacts his anger,
right?
You can tell he's probably not been socialized to the degree and the level that he should have been as a child, to get along. But one thing I will say about this movie, though, is they call it a sequel if you look up the synopsis on it. And, well, I think it's on Netflix. It even says, the sequel to.
It does.
But they actually do try to, tie it in with the original Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, they brought back an old character who was in it who was a survivor of the original, and she tries to.
That's Sally Hardesty.
Yeah, the actress is not the same, but the character is the same.
Right, and so towards the end of the movie, she's trying to get, honestly, I guess, retribution for her friend's death, and Well, she blows it.
She kind of Oberyn Tyrell's. If you've seen Game of Thrones, she pulls an Oberyn Tyrell on it, and she like tries to make Leatherface feel bad about it when he has no recollection of something that happened 50 years ago.
She names all the names of the people he killed, and then she demands him to say her name. And then she gets really pissed off when he doesn't remember her name. And she goes...
Oh, and by the way, she has a shotgun to his face at this moment.
Oh, yeah. She's like 5 feet away with a shotgun. And he's
not
going to
stop her. And he's not going to stop her, by the way.
And not once did we acknowledge that he's nonverbal. Like, he's not spoken a word.
Oh, that's very
in this movie.
And
she's begging him to say words.
Yeah.
And he won't.
Yeah, he won't.
And she's like, you don't remember me?
She gets really sad.
At this point, she's about as messed up as he is, if not more.
Well, she's traumatized by what he did.
Yeah, 50 years ago, she lived through all her friends. I'm saying 50 years ago because that's around when the movie came out.
You're right. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
We could watch a 50-year-old Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and it would be like sticking to the same.
Yeah.
Well, my question is
this one.
See, and I had a problem remembering like all the plots of the Fast and Furious movies my first time through, and they came out within a 20-year span. Whereas,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I want to break script for a minute here.
48 years ago.
Jason Momoa was just announced to be in Fast and Furious 10 as a villain.
So is Fast and Furious 10 the last one, or is there one more?
I think they're supposed to go to...
I thought Fast and Furious 10 was the part 2 of the last
yeah,
one.
I think there's going to be an F10 and F11 still.
Yeah, because I made that Venmo joke. We've been over this. I think on this podcast.
No,
we did talk about that.
I understand. I have a really hard time because I really thought the 9th one was the part 1.
No.
And the 10th one was going to be the part 2.
I think the 10th one's going to be the part 1.
So they're mocking Jay in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to Deathly Hallows the hell out of it.
No, I wouldn't say Deathly Hallows because that was...
They're going to Deathly Hallows the movie out of this.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying like plot wise, there's no need. These movies don't need to exist.
Mockingjay with one whole book.
No, I know.
I think Micah, you're a little lost.
Fast and Furious is based off of books. No books.
But I'm going to move on. Okay, back to Texas Chainsaw.
We're still on Texas Chainsaw.
Back to the Texas of the Chainsaws. Overall, would you guys recommend people to go see? I guess sit down and
watch
the movie. Yeah,
I'd say don't let this be your first one. I would say watch at least one of the ones prior, so you kind of get it, and then.
I would say if you want to stick true to it being a sequel, watch the original
or watch the one that came out right before.
I haven't watched the original, but I will. I would actually say it's probably the best one you could watch.
Yeah.
Of all the because the ones I've seen, it was probably the best attempt at a plot, though none of them really matter. Like none of them really make any great.
Well, I think all the other ones have been retellings. Origins once again of what. Or not even necessarily origins, but I don't
even know that they're origins. You could probably say all of them are instances of this dude of people just coming into his town.
That might be more.
Do
accurate.
you want to hear the titles in order?
I would like to.
Yeah. So we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. That's the first one.
Yeah.
We've got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next
really
Generation.
I like that.
1994.
So no, wasn't there one in '88 or something?
Not that's up here. I looked up Texas.
Did you hit the show more?
More results?
Because there
should be more.
There are quite a few, but I'm not saying that. I don't know what all counts as canonical Texas Chainsaw.
Okay, yeah. I think more results showed up when I did that. I think. Well, there's
probably too many results.
Too many. Well, either way, the first one was 1974, and it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
So then it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in 1986. Yeah. And then Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 in 1990. Then the Next Generation in 1995.
94.
Oh, this says 95 here. That's interesting.
I'm on IMDb. What are you on?
I'm on Wikipedia.
I'm also on IMDb.
Yikes. Okay. So then
you have the Wikipedia list.
Okay. So then in 2003, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Michael Bay came out.
That was the Jessica Biel one.
That was the one we saw, Joel.
That one was.
Everyone was
then-
just so wet.
That was weird. Instead of a fire,
I'm talking about
everywhere,
people. You're talking about people in the movie, not people watching the movie.
Everyone in the movie's face
Oh my
was just
gosh.
like disgustingly sweaty, and they're like, they committed to the
He
mustache.
put that dude up on meat hooks in that one.
Oh, I do remember
But
that.
he was
That
sweaty when the.
Oh,
I thought he
he
went out. I thought he went off
lived.
script. I thought he went off script when he killed someone with a knife in this one. I thought that was
true.
like not
That wasn't
very.
supposed to
I thought
happen.
that was not very Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, he hadn't busted out the chainsaw yet.
He killed a lot of people before.
Right.
He had to
Yeah.
like John Wick it out of the wall.
Right.
To like.
Wait, hold on. Let me
reactivate
finish
himself.
this list real
Yeah,
quick.
You're right.
So then, in 2006, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning came out, also by Michael Bay, and then in 2013, Texas Chainsaw 3D came out.
Wait.
What?
Michael Bay did too.
Yeah.
Why? He's
In
like
3
I wasn't.
years.
He's like I didn't feel like I was done with the story.
He thought he could do more.
I feel like I didn't get the point across.
Yeah.
Like
he was.
what?
You know, the craziest part was he wasn't the director of either, and he wasn't the screenwriter of either. He just produced it. He's like, "Hey, I want to do this movie." Anyways, so then
I mean, they're probably good money makers. They're like no
Probably.
money to make. And
oh
then
well,
they,
we've said before about horror movies. You know, they take hardly any money to make,
right,
and
they just
they
cash.
rake in.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
cash,
Anyway,
like nonstop.
Yeah. Okay, we are so bad about this. And so then 2017, Leatherface came out,
Right.
and now recently,
2022.
in 2022, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay.
That's the list.
Well, that is an impressive list.
So
I mean, like
there's a lot to choose from.
that's really got to be like one of the first slasher movies, right? Like slasher horror.
Who are the big
I mean,
names?
because
in
it's
slashers?
Jason Voorhees,
Freddy Krueger,
Leprechaun.
Screamface. What's his name?
Scarface.
No, he's in
Ghostface.
Ghostface. Thank you.
Scream.
He's screaming.
I feel like
Scream is most recent.
Scream's different though. Scream calls out the genre. And
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Kind of
Scream is kind of
it satirizes the whole
Yeah.
thing and has a very unique perspective on,
that's actually
or has coined that satirical horror perspective. I think, and that's where we get our Sidney Prescott types. If I'm not mentioning
But it's-
Ridley Scott's Alien.
I understand
Right.
that. I understand that you're saying it's different, but in that same way, it's exactly the same.
Which is true. Yeah, there's still your slasher.
It still count.
Yeah.
It would still qualify in the same category.
Yeah.
but like,
but
I love a good slasher.
Ghostface is not unkillable though. You have your unkillable.
because he could be
That's true.
a
You're right.
copycat
Yeah.
murderer.
Well, no, he's always been a copycat.
Right,
Every time
it's-
he comes back around, it's someone else who wants to take up the mantle,
yeah,
Mhm.
which is
Killing Sidney Prescott.
Yeah.
Or trying to.
yeah. What a weird like.
what a vendetta.
Yeah, I know. Like, what happens when Sidney Prescott just dies of natural causes, like at 85 or
Then
something?
they're gonna come after her kids.
Then
probably.
they reveal that she was Ghostface the whole time.
She was on. she was on the Titanic and she kept the heart of the sea.
Oh,
Like that's what happened.
that might be it. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I really think Texas Chainsaw might be the oldest of all of them. Because 74, I mean...
Yeah, when was
Okay,
the
but
first
also,
Friday the
I did say
13th?
Leprechaun, because I feel like that falls into the same category of movies. There's like 5 of those movies.
There's quite a few of them. You're right.
But they're much more recent. I think
Friday
they
the
started in the
13th
80s.
was 1980.
Okay, so that's Texas Chainsaw for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm
those are
Street might be.
19. Those are old. 70 something. It might be around the same time. What we got?
84.
84.
84.
Wow. Texas Chainsaw still wins.
Texas Chainsaw by 10 years on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. I mean, that's,
Hellraiser.
Oh, that's 80s.
87. Yeah. Or 80. Wait.
Yeah.
87.
that's just crazy. I mean, I would have never pictured this. Like, I don't know. In my mind, Texas Chainsaw
Psycho.
is such a low
That
level.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Just such a low level, like compared to, I don't know, in my mind, compared to the other ones, he's just like,
He's definitely less talked about, compared to the other
He
ones.
talks less than all the other.
I think that his
Well,
I think
yeah.
that his like need to kill is a lot more primal, I guess, than anyone else, because it's not it's just a basic reaction to someone. He's just a
Upsetting
kid.
him.
He's just a kid brain, basically, in like an adult body with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, right, so like he's like, this is my family. You're on my land. You're at my house. Like
Yeah.
that's basically what it is. Whereas a lot of the other ones, there's a lot more. I mean, not a reason to kill, but
Which
like,
makes you think, is he the bad guy?
Yes.
I don't know. I couldn't really justify using a chainsaw to kill.
I guess
someone.
he killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
You couldn't really claim self-defense with a chainsaw.
It's
I don't
hard.
think.
It's hard
to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it could be done with the right lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to OJ about that.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh man. All right. So final words on Texas Chainsaw 2022 is if you're bored and you're looking for a good watch, I would say do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Not,
if you
not
got
a
time
huge
to waste. Yeah.
Not a huge waste of time.
Also, if you watch till like 30 seconds before the end, and you're like, these people deserve this happy ending, well then you got like really
shafted.
Yeah, you got shafted by the movie because what happens next? I won't say.
Blow your mind. So I was on TikTok the other day, actually just today, and I came across this video that I found really interesting. And I'm a big Batman fan, as I probably said a lot on this podcast. But he made a point about the Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight, that really just it blew my mind because I can't believe I haven't caught on to this before. So if you guys recall, the party scene, the big party that Bruce Wayne throws for Harvey Dent to help,
the fundraiser,
the fundraiser for him to become the DA. Batman or Bruce Wayne walks out. He gets his big speech about Harvey Dent being a great guy, yada yada. He walks out into the balcony, and this is very very noticeable. He takes his glass of champagne, he just throws it over the balcony because it is really well known that Bruce Wayne doesn't consume alcohol because he's always trying to be within his wits and stuff. So it's very common throughout movies and comic books that you'll always see Bruce Wayne either not taking drinks, or he is Alfred would make him like essentially it's like just water, but he'll tell people it's gin or whatever it is, and he'll
a martini,
and he'll pretend that he's drunk or whatever. So that was very like to his character. But one thing that this guy pointed out was later on in the same scene when the Joker comes on to the screen, and I might be the only person who really thinks that it's super cool. The Joker grabs a champagne glass, and the very first thing he does is also dumps it, and then pretends to swing it back real fast.
I always thought that was just an accident. Like,
Me too.
I thought that like he actually just was so into his character at that moment that he just like was swinging his arm around and the liquid all came out of the cup.
I agree. Yeah,
and then he went to drink it and it was gone because
he was just so animated. But the guy goes on to say that it speaks because the entire theme of that movie is Joker telling Batman
they're not
how
that different.
Yeah, how similar they are. How you and I aren't so different. And And that right there is a very clear parallel to how similar they are. They're always within their wits. The Joker, however, acts like he isn't.
That's freaking insane to think that that's the Joker within his wits.
Right. Well, that's what he said. It's all the show. It's all him, pretending like he's a dog without a plan. But in reality, he is.
A dog chasing cars.
Yeah. Will you try and correct me on the quote?
Yeah.
But that's what he says. He's I'm a dog without a car. He talks about not having a plan. Mm-hmm. He's like a dog. Okay.
Yeah, so he doesn't know what he's going to do with the car.
Anyway, so he's just always pretending that he is in this character. But even in that same scene, when he says that, he is holding back the hammer on the gun that he has in Harvey's hand with the barrel to his head. Mm-hmm. He always has a plan. He just is acting like he doesn't. So that's
because his plan is not what people want to hear. Like it's so outrageous. It's like this is ridiculous. Like where did he come up with this?
Yeah, but to pretend like he's just going with it on the fly is a lot more alarming. It's a lot more terrifying. And I don't know. I think it just like I've said, Heath Ledger and Christopher Nolan, I think always have nailed just that persona of the Joker. Well, it's always been my favorite adaptation of it.
I think that that whole like dynamic is done in a lot of places. Actually, well, I feel like they've been done a lot more since The Dark Knight. But like that's something that's always really fascinated me is like how he calls out Batman with how like and he tells him repeatedly it's like we're not that different. Like
right.
And I always think that's really interesting because like he's kind of right. Like like. Batman is not following the rules when he's going after these guys. Yeah, he's not going to kill them. Like, that's his code, basically. Like, that's where it kind of ends. But he'll do whatever it takes to go and get these guys. That's the same thing with Joker. Everything's to the side, including killing people. Mm-hmm. It's like, in a way, it's like, what makes you above the law, Batman? Like,
well, are they like just that example of chaotic good versus chaotic evil?
I don't know if Batman's chaotic good though.
Well, in the sense of like he like Joel just said, he's taken the law into his own hands, and I think you could. I mean, again, this is not like a knock on Batman because I love Batman, but he is in a sense almost chaotic because he's rolling around Gotham in virtually a tank, going on rooftops, and blowing crap up just for the sake of I have a mission,
Well, and that's something that's like. I don't know. You'd have to get kind of. I've been watching Dexter a lot recently. I know I've told you about that, but like, I watched like the entire Dexter, like the original show. There's the new Blood one, which I haven't watched through yet. I want to watch that one, but like, this is what kind of like remade me think about it a little bit. It's like Dexter kills serial killers. Like he kills really terrible people.
Right.
It's like so. At the end of the day, the way these police officers would see these criminals, they're like, these are really, really, really bad people. Like, and he makes sure, and Dexter goes through like these really specific procedures to make sure these people are guilty. Like he makes sure that they're guilty before he kills them. But sometimes they slip through the cracks because there are ways to get around. Like if you're rich and powerful, you can get through, get around these systems. But he doesn't like that, and so he takes it into his own hand. And I'm not saying it's right to kill people and it's right to go around like he does it because he has a need to kill people because he's a psychopath. Like that's what they get across in the show. But like the people he's choosing to go after are really horrible people, and it's just like that's kind of Batman. I mean, like in the same like Batman does not kill, and I'm not saying he's that, but but what I'm saying is like it's the same thing. Like you in a way he's not following any rules of the law. Like he's not following the law of the land, but he's like following like these are bad people. I'm going to take care of these bad people. Like I'm going to do this because no one else will do it. Like I don't know. That's just something that's been very interesting to me. So yeah,
you make a good point. I think you're right, and that's something that's definitely been explored throughout a lot of the comic books, and and even in Arkham Knight, it's definitely explored when Batman in the video game, Batman has traces of the Joker within his DNA, and so he's seeing him everywhere, and throughout that game you're having interactions with the Joker as he's not really there, as it's in your mind, and that's a lot of the dialogue is the Joker just talking about how different or how they're not that different, and how what you're doing is really no different than I would do, only who you're choosing to do it against, so I do want to give a shout out, not that he'll see this, but that TikTok I was referring to came from the Watcher _616. If you do see this, the Watcher, hi. So,
the Batman though coming out in theaters, which
I'm happy you brought that up.
I know it comes out tomorrow for us, but technically when this episode comes out, it'll be yesterday. But right, it comes out. It comes out on March. It comes out on March 4th.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious. Do you think? So I was just like scrolling through some article headlines the other day, and like these people were talking about like the Batman like is on pace to possibly win some awards. I just wanted to like. Do you guys actually think a Batman movie would ever win an award? If the Christopher Nolan ones didn't win an award, minus like Heath Ledger won, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Was that Best Actor or was that Best Supporting Actor?
That's a great question.
I'm not sure, but one of those. So like that in my mind, that's not really the movie winning that. I mean, it is, but it's like it's the actor winning that award, and part of it was enhanced by the fact that he died. I'm not saying he won that simply because he died. I think he deserved it, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm with you.
If Christopher Nolan couldn't win, but Christopher Nolan doesn't win a lot of awards, and I think his movies definitely deserve more than what they have gotten. But like, do you think the Batman would win an Oscar or some sort of an award? I mean, we've not seen it. Obviously, it's not out yet for us, but
it's hard to say. Let me think. So. Here's what I'm gonna do. I actually want to bring up my expectations for the movie because I am actually seeing it tomorrow night, and so going into it, I want to kind of what I'm hoping for. So I'm gonna do that first briefly, and then I'll kind of segue that into how I think they may or may not be able to win an award. So I personally think that that Robert Pattinson is going to do a really good job of playing Batman. I could be totally wrong, by the way. I just want to point that out. recently he's just proven to me that he is a much more capable actor than what I think I was led on to believe, because I just tagged him as the vampire kid.
Well, I just want to say I agree with you. Like, I want you to go back to what you were saying, but I agree with you. I really felt like after I saw Tenet, I was like, this guy actually is like really good.
Agreed. That was the turning point for me.
And then Devil All the Time.
Yeah, that was actually, I saw one first, and that was also a big turning point for me.
Right, but then I like read all these articles about it. It seems like he's really difficult to work with. I'm not saying that makes him a bad actor, because I think that there have been lots of other people, but it's just like, why is everything got to be such a big deal? Like, I don't know. It just really bothers me. It's like he seemed to be very difficult to work with during the Batman like filming. Is everything I've read is that he's been very. I'm not saying it's just him. It could be the director. I don't know all about the situation, but it seemed like most everything I read had to do with Robert Pattinson not wanting to do something because he disagreed with that. It's like, okay, well, it's not your movie. Like,
right? Yeah,
you didn't have to take this role. Like, you didn't have to audition for this role. You didn't have to be Batman, but you did. So you should probably do what the director envisions this movie for, because it's his movie. Like, I don't know. Again, it's not my place to say, like, I don't know, but it's just like that's really frustrating. It's like, why can't you just, like, you're there to do what the director envisions. I'm not saying that he's not going to make that role really great. I think that he could do a good job, and I really did like him in Tenet a lot. But
right, yeah.
I don't know.
I've heard some of that information as well, just him being more like, I know one of the big things was the directors or maybe the producers, someone within the film wanted him to bulk up a lot more for the movie, and he just straight up like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll trim up, I'll get some muscle on, but I'm not going to get all big and buff like
right.
Like Affleck or
Affleck.
Sorry, Christian Bale. I think is the other guy I'm thinking of. But that aside, I think that he'll do a really good job. This is going to be, from what I understand, a really early adaptation of Batman.
He's younger looking than the last two guys.
Yeah, it's him really early into the stages of being Batman. What I just actually also found out was they came up with a novel, which is supposed to be a prequel for this movie, which is like to kind of help set up the universe. It kind of gives you some backstory to things. I kind of want to check that one out. Anyway, so I think based on the trailers that I've seen and what I've been reading, I think they're going to set up a really dynamic, very interesting Gotham, very interesting DC universe for this specific movie. And I do hear that they're not going to try and incorporate any other big like superheroes. Like they say there's no room for Superman to come involved. I don't know if that means the same for other people. We'll see.
At this point, they just shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm happy.
They shouldn't try.
If they don't, I would be very happy with that. I'm okay with just a standalone Batman movie. I think that we're going to see essentially Gotham in a different light. I think it's going to be a lot more dark, a lot more gritty. And I've said this before. I want more dark. I want more gritty comic book movies, TV shows. Will and I have talked extensively about Daredevil being one of our favorite TV shows for Marvel, because it's dark, it's brutal. It comes down to it where they're just Daredevil's just beating the crap out of people, and you don't know if he's going to stop. Right. Now I have already seen that this movie has been titled an artisan film for AMC. They had an early screening artisan viewing for this movie. And
what does that mean?
Artisan just means that is very potentially could be up for art awards in the sense of like artistic views. Gotcha. Now I don't know if that's going to come from Paul Dano's side of it, being the Riddler. If it's going to be that's
interesting. I do like Paul Dano a lot.
His cleverness is going to be the thing that kind of keeps the wheels turning. That's going to be the creativity side of it all. This will be the first movie we've seen with the Riddler, so I'm very excited to see how they portray him. If he's going to be dark, if he's
what do you mean?
Like first movie in a while.
Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot. Jim Carrey did play
That's like a. I feel like there was a completely different view about what comic books were at that time.
That's true. They were a lot more cartoony.
I think that. I think he just played. I think he fit that perfectly because that's Jim Carrey. Or Jim Carrey at the time. I think Jim Carrey actually transitioned the same way comic books did.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's a lot darker than he was.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
20 years ago. 30 years ago. Sorry. When the.
So, do I think it could win awards? I don't know. I can't say yeah, because you have to ask me after I watch the movie. I guess probably more so because I haven't seen it, so I can't tell based on the trailers. But some actors do their job right, maybe.
Right. Mm. I just this one's for both. I want all three of us to answer, just because this would just be kind of funny. It's just like a pre-BOGS. I'm just curious what you all think the final. I'm just gonna say domestic. Like, what do you think the domestic? No, should I do worldwide? I should do worldwide. What do you think the total worldwide? We're just gonna make a guess. We're gonna make a guess right here, right now. What we think the Batman will reach worldwide.
Are we allowed to look at the budget now?
Yeah, you can look. I saw something about the budget being like doubled of what it was originally thought it would be. We can look up the Batman. Yeah. So I just want to know what you guys all think. Like what you think the worldwide gross will be when this movie. Oh, it's already got like an 8.9 rating. That is incredible.
That is pretty good. I know a lot of people have seen some early screenings of this movie, and I've been hearing some pretty good things about it.
Yeah, but 27,000 people already. I guess. It comes out tomorrow, so it could be starting showing right now, right?
Yeah, like I think California and places like that, they get their movies before we do here in the Midwest. Have you found the budget yet?
I have not. I'm not seeing it.
That information may not have been released yet. I don't see it, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my guess here. I'm gonna say
let's just assume it's like 220 million or something.
Are we saying worldwide?
Yeah, worldwide gross at the end.
I'm gonna say 345.
I'm gonna say
no, worldwide.
Worldwide
gross, dude.
You think
it's gonna be a lot higher?
I went domestic. I'm sorry.
I was thinking like between 600 and 700 million.
Oh,
because factoring in this time
with how dark it
is. This is a
what's the rating on this?
I'm thinking recent
PG-13.
Oh, that's surprising.
It says PG-13, but it's also 3 hours.
People visiting movie theaters a lot less.
Yeah,
that's why. But it's a really big release. That's why I'm saying between.
It's been hyped up for a while.
Okay, actually, so this will probably help you factor in your guess. AMC has announced that they are actually upping the ticket prices for this movie.
Yeah, this is like where they're doing They're
going to do an overall price increase.
They're joining in on inflation.
Yeah, they want to get on that.
Yeah.
If we factor in inflation too, that might add like 100 million.
I'm gonna say eight. Right. I'm gonna say.
Don't say 800 million because that's my guess.
Okay, I'm gonna say 815 million then.
Okay, fuck you.
Box them in, Joel. Box them in.
Okay, I'm not gonna box them in because I don't play that way.
Can we write it? I'm gonna write this.
Yeah,
down.
no, I want you to. Actually, we'll have it in audio and in visual.
On this notepad for the listener, I have a notepad that I write on when I keep score for.
And
BOGS.
we'll check back on it in like 8 months to a year.
Yeah,
and well, maybe one day it'll be in BOGS, and we can actually have a real competition with it.
I'll put it on a blank page. We can put it in the backdrop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 1.2 billion. I'm gonna go over the billion. Well, especially with the raised prices and just the fact that it's PG-13. That's really shocking to me. That allows. I mean, at least 2 more fans to watch the movie. I mean, that's an insane amount more.
It's a good amount more.
No, but yeah. Anyways, that was just something I thought about. I was like, we normally do our after the fact we do our guesses in BOGS, but I just thought it would be fun to see what you guys thought.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm very excited. I'm hoping for us to record an episode shortly after I do watch the movie, so I can get my thoughts on it spoken very quickly. Hopefully, without giving any spoilers away, but just like spewing my thoughts on it. So we'll see. So tune in for that, guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to. This is not related to the Batman, though. By the way, sorry, but just two quick things. So first off, Bender, John Dimaggio is announced to play Bender again in the new Futurama.
Yeah. So in our last episode, we discussed how John Dimaggio had
1.2 billion.
He said that he was not going to be coming back.
No, it wasn't.
Bender.
Yeah, I don't know if it said like specifically that he said he wasn't going to be back, or if it said not all the original cast was signed on.
I had looked up the article because I realized one thing that happens in this podcast a lot is I say, I didn't read the full article. I felt bad about that. So I actually went and did research. So he said he did not want to sign on for... Do you need me to sign this?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to sign the contract.
Do we have a notary here?
That says what I think the box office will be worldwide for Batman.
That you agreed to what Will wrote down for you? Yeah, so I'm super excited about Bender being on, though, because I want to see that full cast.
So it was a money thing, actually. He didn't think that him and the cast were going to be getting the money
This
they
is Hulu
deserve.
that's paying for this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so
They'll
they
pay up for Futurama.
Yeah, so he wanted more money
Well,
for
I
him
want to see
and
more
for the
Futurama.
cast. No.
I was not. I mean, like the ending was good. Actually, I thought it was a satisfying ending. I didn't want it to end though.
Right.
Like I thought it was a really great ending. If that was the end.
It was. They're signing on for 20 episodes, which very well could be 2 seasons at least. So that's
I hope
pretty
it's
cool.
just one. I hope that's just a season.
The last
because
couple seasons were about 10 episodes each, so
that's fair.
So,
yeah, you're right. And
yeah.
a lot of shows don't really do that anymore. But they're only 20 minutes, and with like South Park only signed on for 6 this season, it's like that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like just do it.
I
mean,
agree.
like I get it. It is.
So I do have a question though for you guys actually pertaining to this. It's funny, Joel, you keep touching on everything that I want to touch on, which I like it. Don't get me wrong. So John did start. He made a tweet about him. He did tweet that he was going to be coming back. Like he made it kind of official in that way.
Yeah.
And he even stated why he wasn't going to be coming back. He then started a hashtag called #Bendergate, essentially stating that he wasn't going to come back until Hulu or the producers agreed to pay them more money, which started a bunch of people trending, hashtagging for him to come back. So my question, I want to propose to you guys.
Hold on, that's so Bender though.
Right.
No, you're right. But do you guys think
I'm not gonna be on your show unless you pay me more money.
Do you think
I need more alcohol.
Do you guys think that it was a PR stunt to bring up the hype for the show? Do you think they
like
told
to see what the hype was for
Yeah,
the show,
like,
the
hey,
level of?
Yeah,
I don't know a single person that wanted the show to end when it like.
but maybe they had to test that water. Maybe they had to figure out like, hey, let's see. It's been what?
Because
almost 10 years.
It's been 9 years since 2013 is when the last season came out. The thing that like really gets me about it is like, and I'm not knocking. I'm someone who enjoys a lot of those adult animation shows. I think a lot of them are really good.
Guilty.
But at the time in 2013, I thought Futurama was the best of all of them on.
Oh, I agree.
And it ended, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Where's this going? Why is this the one that's leaving? I don't know. It was upsetting.
I think it can be perceived as a publicity stunt or as like business. You're an actor, you're a voice actor,
Right.
and you gotta you know your rate. You've been in the game long enough. He's Marcus Phoenix. He's like he knows.
Well, he's also the dog from
Up.
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time, right? He's like he played the Joker, on some Batman stuff. He's like he's a great. All of the voice actors actually on Futurama are really great voice actors.
Yeah.
So it's like
So you've gotta. I mean,
no, you got to
see-
be there for your craft.
I'm coming
Like,
back, but also it's the same crew.
That's for future you.
Yeah.
That's for anybody else trying to get a job in that industry. Like you gotta do it for them. I agree with that, but also it just wouldn't have been the same if he wasn't there. Like it wouldn't be the same show if Bender wasn't on the show.
Well, we talked about that briefly.
Bender was in The Simpsons. Like that's how much
true.
he went across. Like not just being in like it's just for a small scene in like a Treehouse of Horrors or something. But
No,
like
there's a
Their theory.
was it a
about
full
that.
episode,
I
or was
don't
it? It
know.
might have been Treehouse of Horror. Actually, I think about it. But I don't know. I think it's just interesting to see it because it felt like it was a very quick turnaround. And it very well could have been that the studio was taking heat and they were like, no, we don't want this. Yes, we'll give you more money. That's it. Let's be done with it. But no, it just
that's fair. But also it could have been in the works a lot longer, and people didn't start catching wind on it.
Yeah, we have no idea. We could have an idea. I don't have an idea. I just think it's really interesting that I started seeing this hashtag going around, and I realized that it was actually him, John, who started it, and I just makes me wonder.
That is interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I'm
you
not
could find out who started a hashtag. Like that's
Yeah, well, it all started after he had made the tweet about not coming back to the show and why he wasn't, and he even said he ended his tweet with #Bendergate, and it just kind of went off from there.
That's interesting.
One thing I wanted to mention to you guys earlier, and I did forget it because we were talking about horror movies, and it slipped my mind.
Right.
But well, you started listing off all the different slasher films and all that stuff. I meant to ask you guys during that time, which slasher film do you guys think that you would be able to survive?
I love these questions.
Yeah. Now I've asked these before, but I want to be more intentional about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully get an actual answer. You can pick whichever one you want. Whether it's we'll limit it to a degree. We'll say either Halloween, which is Michael Myers. We'll do Friday the 13th, which is Jason Voorhees, or we'll do Nightmare on Elm Street, which is Freddy Krueger. And just because we did see Texas Chainsaw, we'll say that one as well, which
Leatherface.
is Leatherface. So pick whichever one you want and tell me how you think you could or would not survive it. And I want Will to go first.
I feel like I'm trying. Okay, so I feel like I should have two answers to this one, because just based on having watched the last Texas Chainsaw movie, there are so many opportunities that they have to kill him.
Yeah.
And I think,
or quite simply escape.
yeah, and like, why would you roll the windows down?
No, but not even that. Not even that. Why would you try to ram him when you could just leave?
And then turn the wheel and go into a it's whatever.
Anyways.
Anyways, there's the yes. I think there's nothing that proves that Leatherface is unkillable. It's just that no one's done it. Whereas you have Jason Voorhees, who's like there's a supernatural element with Jason. There's a supernatural element with Freddy Krueger. Michael Myers. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen the Halloween movies, a lot of them. Have you seen Halloween?
I have seen all of them.
What's the deal with Michael Myers?
You know, up until the most recent one that just came out, Halloween Kills, I really just thought that, this guy, he's just brute force and he can't be killed because of his pure determination. And then in the last film,
what is he determined about? Like what?
Killing.
What it was like? I've seen the Halloween movies. I
started to watch the first one in a hotel room, and I fell asleep.
Wow, that says a lot about the movie. Actually.
I was because I was sleepy and it was late.
His determination, he just wants to kill his family, basically.
It's his family.
Yeah, and Jamie Lee Curtis is like the last remaining one, but then later on, as they reboot it, she has family now, so that kind of extends it. In this last one, this guy was straight up beat down to the ground. He was shot more times than I can humanly count. Michael Myers. He was hit with bats and crowbars. He was stabbed. He was on the ground bleeding out. And this one guy who thinks he's the big badass walks up to him with a shotgun to his face or some handgun to his face, and he like has the final words that aren't needed. And
right.
In that
because
moment,
he could have killed him.
Yeah, in that moment, Michael Myers just wakes up and then just goes to fucking town on everybody. And it is actually probably one of the most badass scenes I've seen in a movie where this guy is just murdering people left and right, and they can do nothing about it.
That's so that's so badass.
But in that moment, I had this thought like, this guy might just be magic.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
So my question is, so can he be killed?
No.
So right now, I'm inclined to choose the scenario. If I'm aiming to survive, I'm inclined to choose the scenario where the assailant can be killed.
Right.
So I would go with Leatherface. But now that I've selected that scenario, I'm not prepared for it. I don't want to go in and be like, yeah, I'm hunting Leatherface, because I would ruin it.
Right.
I'm with my Gen Z friends, and we go to this abandoned house, and we're like, whoa, we're scouting a location to throw the best Halloween party ever, and it's like mid-October.
Yeah.
Sounds
and we're
epic.
like, this might be it. And I'm going to say 4 friends with me.
So there's 5 of you in total.
Yes. And we come in with a car. And
what are you driving?
Oh, probably.
It's got to be a big van.
We're millennials.
No, it's got to be.
They were driving a Tesla.
But in every other.
Okay, so
that or like an
Texas
SUV.
Chainsaw.
I'm driving
a
1999.
No, it's a 69 VW.
Oh, okay. I was going.
I'm just kidding.
Like a Windstar or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Exactly.
Look it up.
That's exactly the van. Yeah.
If I'm aging it, if the ratio of like age to what we're driving to when it's coming out, I'm driving a 1995 Ford Windstar.
Nice.
And that's a car?
No, that's totally a car.
It's all right. Keep going.
No,
you got it.
You got the van exactly. That's exactly the van that you would be driving.
Right.
It's a Ford Windstar.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Okay. And then, okay. So by the time one of our friends dies, we don't know about it, but one of my other friends finds the body. He's like, we got to get out of here. We go to the car. It doesn't work. I'm setting this scenario to where I can't be unfair, because with last time you asked one of these questions, it was Friday the 13th. I'm not counting the Purge one. It was Friday the 13th, Crystal Lake. I was like, I just wouldn't go. And that was a real wet blanket of an answer. So if I'm really one of the people who's secluded out here, how would I survive against Leatherface? A, stick to the blind spots.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing my friend's face. Whoever his first kill is, that's the face he wears.
It's true.
So
Is that consistent with all of them?
Pretty much.
I don't
Or
know.
he already has like a pre-made mask.
Yeah, he already
that
has his own
he's-
face.
So
but he's wearing a face of somebody that I'm like, that's silly. And anyway, stick to the blind spots. I'd say hiding is your best guess, not making noise, because that's what worked best for Mel in this most recent movie.
it's true. It's a good point.
And going up against him, he maneuvers really well with this chainsaw.
Yeah, for being as stocky as he is,
He's
it's surprising.
quite fast. He's quite fast.
He runs fast. He moves his arms fast. He's got a beastly nature. Like if you look at the last few frames of the movie before credits roll, he's like bouncing around. Did they have a Mortal Kombat Leatherface? Wasn't in Mortal Kombat X? Wasn't he an add-on?
I have no idea.
Or was that am I thinking? I know Jason was, but was Michael?
I'm not sure, but I will say that last
Jason
scene that you're referencing with him, with Leatherface at the end,
Yeah.
it does look like the camera's like rolling around him like they're filming a rap video.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he just starts swinging his chainsaw at the camera and just chasing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then
it's
it
good.
drops the revived 80s horror.
Yeah, I
VHS
dig
music.
that. I dig
Yeah.
that a lot. I really like that 80s vibe.
That was cool.
I really like that stuff.
I think
it's kind of been coming back for the last like 5 years.
Side
Yeah.
tangent. We are in
The resurgence. of the
80s rebirth right now is
Right.
the style that is cool for
Yeah,
like
which I
2020s.
personally dig a lot because I really
too.
like that
Right.
80s stuff.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of mullets lately. That's
No, that's not quite what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we can next that. Okay,
I
so
did
you're
actually.
sticking-
Allie and I, we went to dinner for her birthday
yeah.
recently, and we saw these two twins, like 7 years
with
old.
mullets.
They had
That's
full
bad.
on.
Hell,
It was bad.
It was
This-
bad.
the
Anyway,
school-
Okay, all right, sorry.
Yeah.
You're sticking to the
that
blind
should have
spots.
never happened.
Stick to the blind spots and hide, and worst case scenario. Okay, I can't get service. I can't get 911 on the
Yeah.
phone. And if we're going with like
Not your cell phone, at least.
not my cell phone, the best I can do is like hope that there's a ham radio, because there's really not a lot of surviving. There's one survivor. It's not going to be me. It's going to be a
It
female.
can't be you. It's always a female.
It's always a female.
almost always.
Okay.
I mean, I
So, final answer is you would do your best to be quiet and keep to the shadows, but most likely he's going to catch up to you and slice your face.
The thing I can do to at least ensure one person's survival is be a part of the last two, so that I can save whoever the surviving female is,
Sacrifice
and then she'll
yourself.
get away. So
So-
this isn't for me to figure out. This is for the other girl that I'm with.
Yeah.
I've been kind of thinking about like just the way that kind of that last two dynamic goes in those movies generally.
Yeah.
So probably the best thing you could do to save the last person other than yourself, like if you know it's not going to be you, the best thing you could do probably is be like, stay here with me.
Yeah.
Tell them like, stay here with me and help me. Stay here and save my life. Because if you say leave, like go, leave me, they'll stay. So you got to tell them to leave
Don't
because
leave.
that's the only
Yeah.
way. No, you got to tell them to stay because
Yeah.
that's the only way they'll leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
I gotta
they
go.
just don't
Like,
listen.
no, you're stupid. I'm
Don't
leaving.
leave.
They're
Don't leave. Don't
traumatized
leave. I gotta
brains.
go. I gotta get out of here, dude. There's nothing. Don't leave. Don't leave. And then they leave, and then I'm like, yeah, this was the only way it was gonna work.
This was how it was meant
Yeah.
to
This
be.
was how to ensure maximum efficiency. So Micah, to answer your question, I wouldn't survive, but I would
ensure that somebody did.
yes, because if I can at least ensure that one person does, then she can get killed later.
Yeah. Yeah, in the reboot.
In
for
the
sure.
reboot,
For
yeah.
sure. I like it. Okay, Joel, what are you thinking on this one?
So
Pick your universe.
you know, I wanted to differ from Will. Like
Yeah.
I really did, but like I just think that Leatherface is the most survivable.
It is.
Like potential wise. And for me personally, I'd either be driving up in a 1994 Dodge Grand Caravan, or
or a Chrysler Town and Country.
it would be a Chevrolet Astro.
Okay. Ooh.
It would be one of those two vans because it would be a van. I wouldn't pull up in a Tesla like the
No.
kids in the.
That's where
in
they
the-
went wrong.
But the thing is, in this scenario, I'm a female.
Auto drive home. Oh, what?
That's the only way I'm surviving.
He's right. I should have
Okay.
stuck with that.
So in this scenario, I'm a
That's
female.
true. I
all
did.
right?
I did just
Okay?
give you the. You have
And so
to win.
my scenario is not a lot different than Will's. To be
What
completely
universe
honest.
are you picking?
He said
Leatherface.
Leatherface. You
did say
Texas
that? Okay,
Chainsaw.
all right.
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw.
because you know, like you guys said, I mean, you guys summed it up pretty well. Like it's the rest are. I mean, Leatherface also survives things you think most people probably wouldn't survive that like on its own. But like it's just like it's not about that for me because one of the things that in the 1974 one, the Sally girl,
Yeah.
she survives and she's like one of the main points of this new one, and she keeps saying like you got to stay and fight. Like she doesn't keep saying it. She says it. She's like, you got to stay and fight this guy because he won't stop hunting you down.
Right.
Which happens. She said she doesn't say won't stop hunting you down. She says he won't stop haunting you.
Yeah.
That's why she was so hell-bent on killing him her whole life.
Right. So the thing that really I just didn't agree with her with that is the fact that he didn't remember her when she was there. Like this happened 5 minutes before that scene. She walks in, she's like, you don't remember me, do you? And he just he doesn't even want to kill her. He doesn't have beef with her now.
He actually very intentionally walks her.
Walks right next to her, and she has a shotgun to his face at this moment, and he just walks right by her with his chainsaw and goes on to kill those 2 other girls.
And she didn't do anything.
She could have totally ended it right there. But I'm sure the surviving sister really is pissed about that later on. Anyways, the point is that there were many options. There were many chances that they could have escaped. And if I were in that scenario, I wouldn't. I can't say that without a doubt. I mean, I feel like there would be some part of me that'd be like, I should try to save whoever's left.
Right.
There would be some part of me. But there'd be another part of me that would just be like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I was given permission by the other person who's alive. They said, get the hell out of here. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to try to ram him. I'm actually going to turn the car around while he's distracted. I'm not going to sit here and watch what's happening to this other person. I'm going to turn this car around. I'm going to get out of here with my sister, and we're going to survive. And then there would have been 2 survivors of the Chainsaw movie instead of 1. You would have started something new, maybe. But it didn't happen. Because...
It's very bold of you.
Well, it's just kind of arrogance that got, them in that situation in the first place, I think. Because, there were some situations in that movie where, there was nothing they could have done. I don't think many people would have made it out of that bus, But, that aside, they totally could have escaped at different scenarios. So I think that I would just take one of those chances.
Okay.
And I'd get out of there because I don't think he'd leave his home. I think the whole point is that he wants to be at his home with his mother, which his mother's dead.
What tends to happen is people
it's not really his mother also. He's at an orphanage.
Disrupting his life.
Yeah. He doesn't it's not like he's Annabelle. He's a demon that follows a doll.
Yeah.
He's just where he is and you're coming to him. You happen to stumble across his horrible area. You know what I mean? So,
I hear it.
So for me, I'd just take my chance when I got out of there.
Man.
What about you?
Gosh, I don't know, man. I feel like to pick any other one besides Texas Massacre is going to be a death sentence, but here we go. I think I'm going to pick... I don't like nightmares. I'm not gonna go on that avenue.
Freddy Krueger's the last.
Yeah, those movies are so
that
corny.
makes you feel so much more helpless. I feel
oh man,
not having
it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It doesn't even have to be Freddy Krueger. Just if I can't move.
Yeah, just dream.
No, but you're not even safe in a place that's not even real.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So that one's off the table for me. Oh man, I think I would. God, I would try my chances with Halloween with Michael Myers. Now, this is going to sound incredibly stupid, and I don't think I would win because I've seen. Because here's me. I have a hero complex, and I want to.
I can see that.
Yeah, I want to be the one who helps save the life, and so I would be in a situation. All right, picture it. He's coming after Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously, but I'm like her. Granddaughter's boyfriend's cousin's friend, and I'm happen upon them at a party or something, or maybe just down the street, and they're running and they're panicking.
So the one thing that you have really going for you is you're not really related in any way.
Yes, but here's the thing. You're right. That's the one thing I have going for me. I'm going to throw it away because I'm going to see them and they're like panicking. Like, oh my gosh, we're so happy you're here. You got to help us get out of here. I'm like, what's going on, guys? You look freaking psycho. And like, there's this guy, we can explain, please just get us out of here. And they're going to be like all freaked out. And I'm like, hey, whatever it is, we can take care of it together. Friendship is always the answer. They're like, look, you're not getting invited to, my birthday party next month. It's just not happening. We don't want you there. I'm like, okay, all right, I tried.
You're not invited to my party.
Exactly. So I'm going to see him then down, a block away underneath that one lone, lamp post. I'm going to go, That guy looks weird. Like that machete. And they're going to go, yeah, that's the guy.
His face is super pale from this distance. I can tell.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that guy needs more UV. And they're like, you just got to get us out of here. And I'm going to go, do we really need to, or can we just like tell this guy to back off? Like, Micah, just get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. And I'm going to start driving. And they're like, you need to turn around and go the other way. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to drive by this guy. It's going to be super quick. No worries. And as I'm coming up on him, like, this dude's messed up. And I'm going to be like really cocky. I'm like, I'm just going to hit him. I'm just going to hit him. We'll call the cops.
Is your intent to not survive this? To this point?
I'm telling you, I wouldn't survive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I would like try and like screw it and like, hit him. And then what would happen is I would actually just nail the guy right against the light post that he was standing on. And they're like, oh my gosh, Michael, oh my gosh, get us out of here. And I'm like, okay, guys, I got it. I saved the day. He's
the same
dead.
thing happened to Mel Gibson's wife in Signs.
You're right. Oh gosh, you're right. I'm gonna go, hey, it's fine, guys. I did it. I'm gonna like, hey, I just gotta check on him. I just want to make sure he's really dead. So I'm gonna get out of the car, go, hey, dude. And then he's just gonna like pop his head up. And he's just going to have his machete. And he's just going to decapitate me like in a minute.
A whole minute?
Okay, in a second then. Oh. And yeah. Well, no. Knowing most movies, the whole scene is going to play out in a minute. Because
you're going to get slashed, then you're going to keep like
I'm gonna
limping
keep,
off, like trying to survive.
I'm like grabbing at my throat. So I'm not going to be fully decapitated, I'm just like, that long slit. I'm like, yeah, and then like they're going to be screaming. And then the dude who's the boyfriend is going to be like, this is stupid. And he's just going to get in the front seat and like drive away like I should have.
So your hero complex failed you significantly in this.
It almost always does.
It's hard. It's so thinking about it, and like everyone, we even yell at the screen.
Oh yeah,
just for this last
yeah.
I was
so mad.
Why would you do that? But thinking about all of these scenarios,
no, there's so many variables.
No
involved.
way to It is really hard to survive in these. Like, these guys are unkillable. You can't best them. If it comes to me next to you and you're the slasher, I'm not gonna survive. I have to avoid you. I have to outrun you.
No, I agree with you, but there is that. But specifically speaking about the Texas Chainsaw movie we just watched,
yes.
Like, I'm only using that. I'm not saying in general. I'm saying in this specific example, a random ass woman they don't know gave them car and said leave.
That is true.
And they could have gone a different direction while he was off, literally just like, barbecuing her up on that chainsaw.
Skewed the shit out of her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a Mortal Kombat fatality.
And they could have left, but they watched it and then they decided to ram him after she was definitely a goner.
Yeah, they were both very much like in on it. They were like, "Yes, buckle your seatbelt. We're doing this."
It's like that. No, I know, but that decision making, I don't think I would make that decision.
That's where living becomes possible.
Yeah. So I didn't think I'd make that decision until I was in the moment.
No. I get what you're saying, but I don't know this woman, and I've already gone through all this hell, and she just drove up.
That is a lot different.
And she just gave you the keys and
she said, "Get out of here."
She did say that very specifically. She did tell you to get out, and
I'm not saying I wouldn't be like, "Oh, I try to save you," but the second I saw her up in the air on that chainsaw, I'd be like, "You know what?"
I would have said, "All right."
She gave me the keys.
It was literally for the listener who hasn't seen this movie. If you've played Gears 1, when General Rom gets the one dude, I forget his name, but he gets him with the sword straight through, and he lifts him up super high and holds him there for really long. That's what happened with Sally in a chainsaw. But she lived.
For people who haven't watched,
she lived for another 5 minutes, which was way longer than she should have been alive.
And for people who haven't seen Gears of War, think of the scene in Deadpool, the first one, when he's on the highway and he skewers the guy with both his katanas and he just holds him in the air. And then, like, the scene cuts to something else.
And, and to those of you who haven't seen Deadpool, think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 when Michael Myers holds Sally up on the chainsaw.
Leatherface.
Oh, Leatherface holds Sally up with the chainsaw. Then you know what Micah's talking about.
Exactly. Thank you.
But not even that. Not even that she survived way longer than she should have. Like, towards the tail end of her life after laying there.
Yeah.
Like, got to be so low on energy, loss of blood, significant.
Spinal cord.
Spinal cord ruined. Her organs just destroyed. Okay.
Now I think about it, that should have KO'd her right away.
No, exactly.
Spinal cord is that's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah, but also he knifed that girl across the stomach earlier, and that got her in like
That's
2
true.
seconds.
That
But
made-
she got a
that-
chainsaw to
yeah.
the gut, and she was fine. But what I'm saying is, she had enough strength. She had enough strength to pick up that shotgun, shoot him once, and then reload the thing and give it to the girl.
Yeah.
Like
That is
that's
true.
a bit, and also.
Yeah.
Like, also, then she decides to chase after him instead of just leaving.
Yeah. This podcast does include spoilers.
Yeah, listen,
I'll
I wasn't
put a
going to.
little-
I wasn't going to originally, but
I forget
it got
to say
a point.
contains spoilers. We should start saying that when we do these times,
Yeah.
these nights where we watch a movie and then talk about it. We should say like, warning, this includes.
I'll
Yeah,
put it
it
in
will.
the
It
in the
will.
description.
Because
this
We'll
is
let you know.
This is a brand new movie too. This came out this year.
Okay, I will say this. I think if we think people are listening to us very recently, we are getting ahead of ourselves. But hey, hopefully you're out there listening to us.
Yeah, I just have 2 more things that I wanted to bring up.
Do it.
if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, what are we at?
Just over an hour, I think.
Yep.
But so one Star Trek 4 is in the works. They're going to
Yep.
make a 4th one with the
Very
same
excited.
cast.
Okay, sweet.
From the other 3. I really like those people.
They're great.
Is
I
J.J.
like-
Abrams still behind it?
I think so.
Very good.
I think he's coming back.
Is it-
Actually, it was Justin Lin last time.
Ain't broke,
Oh,
don't
that's
break
right. It was
Yeah.
Justin Lin.
Yeah, so I think J.J. Abrams is back, but I don't know if Justin Lin. I don't know if that means Justin Lin's not involved. But
Yeah.
I still thought it was a good, decent movie.
Very good news to hear.
The last thing is just what do you guys think about, like, I guess not what you think about it, because I haven't watched it. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but would you guys watch the new Fresh Prince?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was right. I just missed that. I'm a 2001 baby.
Yeah, that was 90s.
So it was like dang. I know I could go back and watch it, but
It's pretty decent, but it's also a bit repetitive. Like,
So
they like to do clip shows every like 4 episodes for the first 2 seasons of the show.
So yeah,
It's like,
so,
yeah, I remember that. I watched it just a second ago.
yeah. I wouldn't be able. I don't think I would see the new one just because I wouldn't appreciate it, or I wouldn't be able to appreciate it having not seen the original show.
I would argue it might make you.
Yeah, you may not even need
You
the
might
original
appreciate
show.
it better
Oh yeah,
because it's dramatized now.
It's
right?
not a
Yeah,
comedy.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Well, the quote unquote the same story. It's just it's not same characters. It's just not. Yeah, it's not funny anymore.
Which just makes it sound horrible. Like when you say that.
Yeah, that makes me. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. Maybe I'll wait till it's finished and see what people say about it overall. I don't have an interest in it. I don't get the point. I'll just say it. I don't see the point in taking something that was really widely received and really appreciated for what it was in its time. Because that as funny as that show was, it
It
tugged
had
on
good
your
messages.
heartstrings.
It had good messages, actually.
There
Like,
were
really.
there was more than one episode that towards the end of it or just at some point in it where
They get serious,
I was like
yeah.
I was sniffling there because they really got you, whether it was Will and his relationship with his father or him learning the new dynamic with
Or Carlton not having experienced something in the same way.
yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
and even racism, it was they did a really good job of conveying those messages, I thought, while still being funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't feel like we needed it like this.
No, and I don't have a problem with it being made. I'm not going to watch it myself
hey,
personally.
to each their own.
I love the original show. I grew up watching it on like reruns on TV and stuff, and like I always thought it was super funny and like just like I don't know, everything about the show was like really great to me. I rewatched it recently with my wife before we got married, but it was
oh yeah,
Thank God.
Yeah, we were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really happy you guys did that before marriage.
Yeah. No, that doesn't make a difference. But like, yeah, I don't know. The new one, I don't need it to be dramatized for me. It was like the way it was the way it was meant to be. Like,
Already powerful.
Yeah, it's hitting the right message.
and
yeah.
it was actually Will Smith. Like it's the story of Will Smith's life, supposedly. Like. It's the way that it was meant to be, because if it was meant to be serious, it would have been serious. I mean, I'm not saying that show could have been made in that time, in the 90s.
Yeah.
But, like...
probably wouldn't have been as accepted.
But, like... To think that didn't reach people and that didn't hit a message, I don't think that things need to be made as, like... Those issues are very serious things. But, like,
Yeah.
I don't think that, like... making it a very serious like drama. And I don't know what the show's like. I haven't seen it, but it's just not really that interesting to me. I just was curious because like I've been hearing a lot about it, and it's just like
I've
the
heard
original show was so good.
I've heard Carlton is actually even more obnoxious. Like he's really hard to get behind in this one. I hear.
Well, I don't know how you can't get behind Carlton in the original. He's so funny. Like,
right. Well, like he's just a little in the very early seasons. He's very pretentious.
Oh no,
right?
he is, but it's still funny.
Yeah,
like,
it's still very funny because this is the way Will reacts to him. But in this one, it definitely like Will or Carlton is just very much like I'm better than you. And then from what I understand, like with Uncle Phil, he's just very much like it's hard to believe that this guy wants what's best for Will. Then that's just what
maybe that's how it actually went. I don't know. But.
Who knows? Yeah, but hey, we'll see. Maybe it'll do really good, and when it's 5 seasons in, I'll kick into it. Like
is it meant to be that? I thought it was like something that was just supposed to be like a season or two.
I was making a reference to when I binged Game of Thrones. So. All right. Hey, that wraps us up for this episode, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Join us next time. We'll see you then. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.
Peace. Bye.